What's up, everybody? This is Justin Flinner coming to you live from Northern Virginia with the Justin Flinner Podcast by My Mental Medicine. I want to thank you for joining me this week on this podcast. And today's topic is going to be about having fun. Having fun in your life. Are you having fun in your life? Are you having the time of your life right now? If you're not, why not? What is it that's keeping you from doing so? I want to talk to you a little bit about this because I've seen lately that so many people are walking around with such a straight face, a serious face, or a sour face, or a frown on their face. Very few people are actually smiling. And you know those people out there that you can tell are actually smiling from their heart? Even though there's not a smile on their face, there's just something about them that tells you that they're happy. They're having fun. They're enjoying their life. They are passionate about what they are doing. Why can't I be that way? Perhaps you ask yourself that question. I've asked myself that question from time to time. When I find myself in a challenging situation like I did today, I was standing outside on the sidewalk after work, waiting for a ride to come home that usually takes me about 15 to 20 minutes. A bunch of people line up every single day and wait for a ride in what we call our slug line, because literally we move as fast as slugs. So today, rather than waiting 15 to 20 minutes, there weren't as many drivers. Not quite sure why. It's always unpredictable. But for some reason today, I waited an hour and a half. And if you are familiar with the slug line, that means that there really are no more rides coming until tomorrow, 24 hours later. So you have to find an alternate form of transportation, which I did. But in a moment, I could have stood there and been absolutely stressed and frustrated or completely worried about what was going on. There were several people in line who were actually doing so. They were getting fearful that, there's not going to be any cars coming. What am I going to do? I'm going to find another way home. Do you know how many options there are to get home from the city? Taxis, Uber, buses, Metro. There are countless ways for you to get home, and that should be the least worrisome thing when you are trying to get home. If one way doesn't work out, you don't keep trying, or you don't stop there. You try something different. So in that moment, I found a different way to get home. I wasn't worried. I wasn't stressed. And even while I was waiting in line for an hour and a half, I found ways to entertain myself, as a lot of people say. Now, entertaining myself doesn't mean I was standing there watching a movie or watching things. I was doing something related to what I love to do in my life, which part of it was putting together this podcast. So I wrote down a few ideas. I wrote down a few ideas for another project I was working on, for something that I'm really excited to put together because I know that it's going to be a fantastic event. I'll tell you more about that when it comes up, when I have a lot more ideas in place. So rather than be stressed about the challenge of not finding a ride home immediately, I chose to find ways to have fun. And that's exactly what we can all do. When we are in moments that are completely stressful for us, whether they're at work, where we're working on a project with a group of people, and it just seems like it's never going to get done, or we're rushed because of a deadline that we were given. Or maybe it's not work-related. Maybe it's at home with our kids. We have to rush them from place to another place, and then come back home, and then go to another place. We just have so many things that we have in our lives that keep us so busy and keep us so stressed. I mean, this is the language that so many people use. Rarely do you hear the word fun. You are probably saying, well, I'd like to have fun in my life at some point. When can I do that? Well, I have to wait until all of my other stuff is done. Why wait? Why can't you have fun while you're doing the things that you do every single day? Are you excited when you get up out of bed every single morning? When you sit on the side of your bed, put your feet on the floor, and you're ready to stand up and you go, yes, it's another day in my life. My life. Nobody else's life. It's another day in my life. And I am going to have fun. I'm going to commit to having fun today. So the word fun, if we think about this word for a second, I like to think of it as an acronym, F.U.N. F, for me, it stands for full of joy. I know that when I am having fun, I am full of so much joy. I feel so awesome inside. And I'm sure that you've had a moment like that too in your life. When you can be full of joy, you can know down inside that you are having the time of your life. You are having fun. The U stands for uplifting. Think about it. When you're full of joy, when you're having fun, you are lifting yourself up from where you previously were. Whether you weren't having fun or maybe you were just doing something normal, you were just feeling okay. Never allow yourself to just feel okay. Here's another story. Today I was at work and somebody asked me, "So how are you today?" And I said, "I'm feeling great. How are you?" And he said, "Well, it depends on what your scale is." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, some days you feel like maybe a 5 or a 6, and then there's days where you just feel down, and maybe you feel like a 3 or a 4. And I said, "Okay, what do you mean a 3 or a 4? Because your 3 or a 4 doesn't feel anything like that to me." I said, "I live at a 10 every single day. There are moments where I may creep downward towards a 9, maybe like a 9.5, but I never let myself get any lower than that. I do my absolute best to let myself stay as close to a 10 as possible. The moment I feel myself dipping, I bring myself back up. I am uplifting myself." But this gentleman, for some reason, he couldn't quite describe why he was feeling like a 3 or a 4. So what did I tell him? I told him, I said, "Okay, don't allow yourself to feel a 3 or a 4 at your lowest from now on. Make your 5 or a 6 your lowest. Don't ever let yourself get down to that point again." And he looked at me and he said, "I never thought of it that way." He actually laughed a little bit, and he didn't really think it was true. We talked a little bit more, but then we had another meeting to go to, so maybe it soaked in, maybe it didn't. But for a second, he was opened up to another opportunity, a new opportunity where he could learn to uplift himself little by little. You don't have to do it all at once. You can do it step by step. So that's the U, uplifting. And to take it a step further, when you feel uplifted, when you feel as though you're full of joy, others will see it. They will say, "What's going on with that person? I want to feel like they feel." Or maybe they get a little jealous and they say, "Well, I wish I felt that way. Aren't you lucky?" Okay, well, you little sour beepity bleep. I mean, you don't have to inside absorb their energy because you are uplifting yourself. The fact that they won't allow themselves to be uplifted is their choice. But hopefully, they will see inside of themselves that yes, they too can be uplifted. And maybe you can invite them to do it. The N in fun, nonsensical. Nonsensical, no sense, make absolutely no sense, like I am right now. What do you mean, Justin? What do you mean, absolutely no sense? What I mean is, when you do things that are the most fun, sometimes they make absolutely no sense. Think of children. When children have the most fun, what do they laugh about? What are they having fun with? They have fun with sticks, rocks, mulch, bugs, spider webs, paper. I had somebody tell me one time, you know what's the most exciting gift you can give a child at Christmas? A box wrapped full of balls of paper. I mean, an infant. I mean, how much fun do they have with just balls of paper, with just things in their hand that they can feel and touch and explore with? You can light up their face, and it in turn light up your own by seeing them just have so much fun with the tiniest and most nonsensical thing. And we as adults can do exactly the same thing. We do something absolutely nonsensical. And usually it means it's nonsensical for us personally. Like, why would I ever get up on stage and sing a song in a karaoke bar or in a karaoke place in front of all these people? Are you nuts? I would never do anything like that. That doesn't make any sense. You don't know me. Maybe you don't know yourself. Maybe you don't know what you're truly capable of because you're a little bit afraid or a lot afraid. So in order to do something absolutely nonsensical, you have to break through the barrier of fear. You have to say to yourself that, you know what? I don't accept the way that I'm feeling right now. I want to feel better. I want to lift myself up, and I want to feel absolutely filled to the brim with joy. I want to do something that makes no sense to me as to why I would do it, because I know that I'm going to feel good. Or maybe there are times where you get up and you do something absolutely crazy like that you never even thought you would love. You never even thought you would feel so good by doing it. And when you're finished, you say, that was fun. I want to do that again. These are the moments in our lives that we need to remember. We need to replay. We need to recreate. When you have fun, you are full of joy. You are uplifting for yourself and for other people. And you are completely nonsensical. You're doing something that makes either no sense to you or no sense to somebody else. Who cares? You're having fun. You can find fun in every single moment of your life. My children are 8 years old and 5 years old. I have a little boy and a little girl. Every day before I leave for work and every day before my kids leave the house to get on the school bus, I always tell them, make sure you have fun today. Don't go out into your day without knowing that you're going to do something that is going to be so much fun. Whether it's at recess, whether it's in math, whether it's in computer class, whether it's in gym, whether it's at lunch, whether it's when you come home, whatever it is, in every moment of your day, in every class, in every meeting, in every commute, try to find ways to have a little bit of fun or have a lot of fun. You don't have to fake it, but sometimes you might have to. You might have to fake it a little bit in order to get yourself to realize that it can be real. Force yourself to break through that barrier of fear. Force yourself to do something that makes absolutely no sense. Throw away that sense of fear and say, I am going to do this. I don't care. I'm going to have fun. It looked like it was so much fun for them. I want to do the same thing. Let me try this. So let me close this podcast out by challenging you this weekend, tomorrow, the day after that, and the day after that, and continuously after that, for every single day for the rest of your life, to find moments where you can have fun. Having fun is not difficult. It just takes a little remembering. Remember the moments in your life where you had the most fun and where you brought other people to those moments to have the most fun. So now's your chance. Now's my chance because we're finishing this podcast right now. I deserve to go have a little bit of fun. So you should go out right now and find ways to have fun. I challenge you, starting right now, as soon as this podcast is over, find a moment in your life to go have fun. Stand up, jump up and down, do 100 jumping jacks, do a little dance, turn up that music if you're sitting in the car, driving down the road. Turn up that music, do a couple groovy moves, even if you're at a red light. Who cares? Who freaking cares? Have fun. Life is meant to be filled with fun. Don't be so serious. Let go, let loose, and enjoy your life. So I'm going to go have fun, and I hope that you will too. And I'll see you next week. I'm Justin Flinner, and this is the Justin Flinner Podcast from My Metro Medicine. Talk to you guys next week. Now go have some fun. This podcast is brought to you by My Metro Medicine, an organization that is dedicated to helping people improve their lives by learning to empower themselves and take control of their own life. Any form of reproduction or distribution of this podcast is strictly prohibited. Should you have any questions on using this podcast or information that is contained within this podcast,
please write to info@mymetromedicine.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Justin Flinner coming to you live from Northern Virginia with the Justin Flinner Podcast by My Metro Medicine.